Let's say you're at a point in your life where you have some money saved. Or you're just striving to get to a place where you no longer live paycheck to paycheck and you're able to put some money aside each month. Quick question. Do you think you can curl up in your pile of cash or shares of stock and live happily ever after? I thought so. Instead, can you curl up in your own home? Yes, please. See what I'm getting to? I'm a big believer that your first large investment should be your own home, because you will always need a place to live, and so will other people, so you can always rent it out to them. And if anything, you can always sell it for the larger price than you bought it, because this is how the housing market has been. By owning your own home, you can make your money grow, add value to your life, and possibly in the future build a passive income to live on. Isn't that great? In this video, I will tell you how I am doing that so you can too. Hi friends, my name is Karina and today I'm gonna tell you how I became a landlord in America as an immigrant with just $17,000 investment and started making money off my house from day one, which I feel like doesn't happen often enough. People don't do it enough. My house now brings me over $30,000 in cash flow, and I made generous equity in the past 5 years, approximately $200K, given the conditions of the housing market. Plus, I do not pay rent anymore, which is another $20K plus savings a year for me, and my tenants pay my entire mortgage. I mean, come on, what's not to love? I don't know why more people are not doing this. Honestly, when I hear about my friends having $40,000 in their savings as a single person and just sitting on them, you know who you are, my stomach curls. By all means, keep your emergency fund. For me, it's $20K, but consider investing the rest. Even if your bank pays you 4% in interest, that still won't beat the inflation even by half. You're just giving your money away, you're losing it every month, all the time. I suggest you stop doing that, and instead you can make your money grow and build passive income. Here's how. Secret is simple. It's really 2 words: owner-occupy, or it's also called house hacking. This is the business model that just always works. Have you noticed that when you look for a place to rent or buy, oftentimes, if not always, you'll see that it costs very little money to add an extra room. For example, the 1-bedroom apartment will cost $2,000, while in the same neighborhood, the same building, the 2-bedroom apartment might cost $3,000. So it's extra $1,000 instead of $2,000 you're paying for the 1st bedroom, because it also obviously includes the kitchen and the bathroom and land use and everything. So adding an extra room becomes cheaper and cheaper, and then the 3-bedroom apartment might cost $3,500 in that same building. Now it's $500. The 4-bedroom will probably cost $38, approximately. I'm sure you see it everywhere, and if not, you'll start noticing it. How much cheaper it is to share your living space, and how much more expensive it is to live alone in a 1-bedroom apartment, for example, than to have 2 people split a 2-bedroom and split the rent. This is exactly why house hacking or owner occupying works so well. And don't worry, you don't have to live with the roommates. I do not, because I appreciate my privacy so much, and I will tell you how you can do that too. So what does this tell us? This tells us that it makes so much more sense to invest in a slightly bigger space than you need and rent out the rest of it. And it makes even more financial sense, if you can, to invest in a significantly bigger place than you need to live yourself in and rent out most of your property. So that way your tenants will pay for the entirety of your mortgage, including your principal, your interest, your home insurance, and even property taxes. Your rental income will cover all these expenses, plus you will be growing your equity, and all the money you save from not paying rent, from not paying mortgage basically, because your tenants are paying it, continue saving that money every month and then just put it in bulk towards your mortgage. Make sure your loan doesn't punish for that, and that way you pay off your debt even faster and you save thousands and possibly dozens of thousands of dollars in interest. This is what I'm doing too. The thing is, you just have to do the math before you buy, before you make an offer. That's what I did. It's that simple. I don't know why people are not talking about this enough. I discovered this by myself. Nobody gave me this idea, and I'm just amazed that at least all my friends haven't done that yet, because I think this is such a great business model. So I'm hoping that you, whoever is watching this video, will consider doing that and spread the word. It is important to note that for this model to work the best, it should be your first home purchase, because only with your first home purchase usually are you able to get a super low down payment. 5%, for example. This is what I paid. Even though I bought a duplex, I still only had to put 5%. But I started collecting rent immediately after closing. And that's just amazing. Because if I had to put 20%, my threshold of entering this market would be years and years away. I wouldn't be able to be saving already, building equity, etc. That's why I insist that for your first home, you follow this model. It doesn't have to be a perfect dream home. You only have to legally live in it for a year, and then you can move out to the next property and rent this out and just repeat this model. All right, so let's step back. There are two ways to do this. First is to have roommates in the apartment or a single family house. Or second is what I'm doing, to buy a duplex and rent out your extra unit. Of course, the more units you have in your building, the better, because then they just pay for each other. But duplex is a great way to start. You will be shocked how little the price difference is between a single family house and a duplex in the same neighborhood, same block, same street. I was shocked when I found out, because when I was looking for a house, I looked at single family houses first, and they were at that time, 5 years ago, about 270K, 300K, 350K. And then I saw that the duplexes are listed for oftentimes the same prices. I bought my duplex for 350K when I remember considering a single family house for 270K. That's $70,000 difference for a whole extra apartment with its own entrance, its own parking, its all privacy, its all utility bills, everything. $70,000. I mean, that's like almost free. So of course I did my math and I realized that it makes so much more sense to put a tiny bit more money, because if you divide that by 5%, there's only that much more down payment you have to put. Then it opens up this whole new stream of income for you. And I went for it. And it's great. Here is a trick about this that I'd like to share with you. A tip, a hack, however you like it, which is very important. Oftentimes you'll see duplexes that are like townhouses, basically connected by a wall. So they have twin apartments. They're mirrored, right? Apartment on the right, apartment on the left, identical. These are great, lovely, and wonderful, but they're not the cheapest way to get into the market. And I was looking for the cheapest way to get into the market. Trust me, I was working at a non-profit at the time. I just moved to America 5 years ago with $60 in my pocket. I did not have much. That's why for your first investment, I recommend getting everything you can out of it. And for that, you want to find a duplex that has one small apartment and one large apartment, where one unit is significantly larger than another. And then what you do is you move in the small unit, for example, a 1-bedroom apartment or a studio, and the second unit, which is, for example, a 3-bedroom apartment, you rent out. And in this scenario, your large unit rent will cover your entire mortgage. I can almost guarantee that. Of course, if you look in the right place and, if you're smart about it. I did the math before I bought my house. I had a spreadsheet with every house I looked at, what it was selling for, and what I think I could rent each apartment for. And, the math did it all. The numbers just make a decision for you. On top of that, I really fell in love with my house when I first saw it. But this house made so much sense because I paid $350K for it. And right now, the rent for downstairs apartment is $2,600, even though I could easily rent it out for $3,200 looking at the market right now. But I keep it at $26,000, which covers exactly my entire mortgage payment. And then if I rented out the apartment I live in, that would be another maybe $1,600 plus. That would be just extra profit if I chose to live somewhere else. And you can do it too. I want more people to do this. I really want more young professionals who are looking to invest their first money, I want them to buy homes and I want them to rent out parts of them to other young professionals who are still saving up for their down payment. Well, they don't nobody has to be young, but you know what I mean? I think that if more people do this, we will not live in the world where one old white dude owns the entire neighborhood in the city and raises the rents in unimaginable amounts. And then everybody hate landlords. But I want you to be a landlord. You know what I mean? And you can be a great landlord. I definitely strive to be that for my tenants because I remember very well being a tenant and having shitty landlords. I honestly, I'm so passionate about this idea. I think that if more people do this, if more people know about this, this can change the world. This can change the capitalistic landlord-run environment in America. And it's more than doable. It's more than doable because your only task is to save that much money. In my case, it was $17,000. Yes, now it probably will be more. It all depends on where you live. And that's another thing. I was very ready to make sacrifices and I still make them. I still manage this property, look for new tenants whenever my old tenants leave. I still do so much work in the house. I invest in it, but it's worth it. Yes, it includes some work, but you're building passive income. I plan to pay off my house in 10 years instead of 30, and I'm on track to do that right now. And I know that after that, it's just passive income. And I will move out and delegate it, pay percentage to the property management, and hopefully it will feed me through the rest of my life. Because unfortunately, for most of us, I think rents will be only rising. So I couldn't recommend this more as an investment to protect yourself, to give yourself some sense of the security in the crazy world we live in, and also to always have home to come back to. To me, it was very important as an immigrant to have some place in this country that I can call my own. I don't have a family that I can go back to. I don't have that privilege. To me, it was very important to set up that foundation, metaphorically and literally. And I want you to do the same. I really do. I'm so passionate about this idea and I'm growing a healthy obsession with money and I really want to share with you everything I know. I have a whole other video on duplexes where I go through all pros and cons of living in a duplex with examples. I actually go on Zillow and show the example of price management. And I also have a whole house series on all the different property types. So please go watch more of my videos, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you in the next video. Oh my god, there are people skiing in the sidewalk. Did you see that? Holy cow, it's like March 23rd when I'm recording this.